It's a swear word this year.
Are you, you're all set?
I'm with you, Dan. There's no part of me that doesn't understand that.
Are you ready to start, Rory, so that we can, you're all set? Okay.
How you doing?
Good evening. I'd like to call the budget workshop of the North Branford Town Council to order. It is Tuesday, March 10th. Call this meeting to order at 6:31. Please join me in a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have one small housekeeping thing that we need to take care of. In our folder tonight, there is an agreement for professional services. This is with our tax department. And can I have a motion that the North Branford Town Council authorizes interim town manager Rory Burke to execute the tax serve agreement extension?
Motion is stipulated.
Second. Motion was made by Deputy Mayor McMillan, seconded by Councilor Diamond. Discussion?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The term of this agreement shall be extended beyond the stated termination date on a month-to-month basis until the town issues either a 30-day notice of termination, or B, an extension or a new agreement is executed. Exactly how long does it say that 30-day notice of termination? Does that mean that 30 days starts the day of the expiration, or the 30 days starts when we decide to notify them that we're gonna exercise a 30-day notice of termination? And during that process, can they go up on the fees? Because there's nothing in here that says the month-to-month fees stay the same.
Okay, it's my understanding that this is,
So the council approved this extension in December of 2025. The issue is that you authorized Mike Downs explicitly to execute it. And I think in the shuffle, it just got lost. And so it was never executed. So the motion would just be to authorize me to execute it so that we could get the extension in place.
so the extension right now goes to October 25th, 2026 from the original agreement.
Correct.
Want me to amend my motion to just stipulate simply updating it to Rory?
Well, that's what the motion
Okay, well,
said.
then there we are.
It was
Actually,
just,
I guess my question didn't get answered, or it got answered and it went over my head. So, again, this extension expires October 25th, 2026.
correct,
Was this language also in the original?
what we approved.
Because the original is not before me, so I can compare
It's
the
just that
two.
it didn't get executed, so we need to execute this so that this is in place.
Language is exactly the same. All we're changing is Mike Downs to now Rory.
Okay, well then somebody must have an explanation about, if you go month to month, there's nothing in here that's ironclad that says the fees remain the same until either the contractor terminates or we terminate. There's nothing in here that says that. What are we paying on a month to month? We pay monthly now, we pay for the whole year, or?
Well, we get a new contract. But before this expires, we're gonna get a new contract to extend this service or to go out to bid for
All
another
right, so you made up
service.
your mind already, you're not gonna go month to month, is that what I'm
We
reading?
have been going month to month because nothing's been executed. And so the idea is to lock in the pricing by doing the one-year extension. That was already authorized.
We'll be locked in month to month.
No, we're. it was-
Currently, we're going month to month because we have no extension
We
executed.
have not yet authorized the extension. He has not signed it. So right now, we're paying month to month, but we would like to go on an annual basis as to lock in the specific savings.
All right, so a little bit of history, because I wasn't on the town council before October 25th. Was there a contract from October 24th to October 25th?
There was a contract according to this, so we entered into a contract dated October 25th, 2022.
Oh,
And it was a 3-year contract with
am I missing that?
three, it's under R1.
It's right here.
Okay, got it. That clarifies my question there. Thank you, Rose.
Okay,
Just to clarify, this is a collection agency that we use. We don't pay anything. The fee is added on to the debtor's claim. It's 15% per state law that the marshals and everybody else can charge. That's all that they charge. It's tacked on to the taxpayer's bill. We don't pay anything for it.
Oh, okay.
so it's just, this is the company that we've been using.
Correct.
So they're an independent contractor that goes out and collects the back taxes and stuff like
Correct.
that?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, that clarifies that.
Where?
Okay, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion carries. I forgot roll call, so we're gonna go back to do roll call.
Mayor Angeloni,
Here,
Deputy Mayor McMillan,
Present.
Counselor Diamond. Here. Counselor Gold,
Here.
Counselor Mace.
Here.
Counselor Rose,
Here.
Counselor Whitworth,
Here.
and Counselor Zampano.
Here.
okay, now we can start. Last week we had 3 departments come in for their budget. This is just a budget overview. There is no action that will be taken tonight. It's just to kind of give us a little brief overview of your budget and what you're asking for. We have 30 minutes per department slated for tonight, and we would like to stay within those confines. Last week, the departments did very well, and we were out by 8 o'clock. So just keep that in mind, whoever is presenting tonight.
Percentage increase.
No pressure.
Okay, so we are starting with library tonight, so I will turn it over to our director, Lauren Davis.
Okay, good evening, everyone. For those new to the council or returning to the council, my name is Lauren Davis. I'm the library director here in town. I'm joined by Kelly Rainier. She's our assistant director. We wanted to thank you for this opportunity to present this budget and highlight some of our priorities in our budget request. The library's operating budget request for fiscal year 26-27 is $1,012,900. Salary and personnel costs comprise 85% of this budget for 7 full-time positions and 15 part-time positions, to total 12.77 FTEs. Operating expenses account for the remaining 15% of our budget. As you know, non-discretionary spending accounts were removed from the library's operating budget and transferred to the town's newly created consolidated cost center account. So the budget that you have before you is fully directed towards public service now. Within the library's operating budget, the majority of our spending occurs in essentially 5 areas. We have personnel, data processing, books and material, contractual, and buildings. And this is where you will find the most significant increases to our budget request over last year. So first up, personnel. This budget contains a 2.5% contractual salary increase for our 5 full-time union librarians, all of whom will be at their top step for next year. It also includes a 3 to 5.5% salary increase for our part-time library workers. We've tried to align these pay increases to the recommended salary guidelines published by the Connecticut Library Association based on a 2025 market analysis that was completed by the Employers Association of the Northeast. Due to the unique nature of library services and the way they are provided to the public, library work is inherently people-oriented and people-powered, which is why the majority of our resources go towards personnel and the associated costs. Library staff welcome people into our buildings. We unlock the power of our collections, introduce people to the joy of reading and lifelong learning, play an important role in fostering literacy, especially the early literacy skills, and connect people to the information and knowledge that they either need or that they want. The next account that we wanted to highlight was books and materials. Again, we recognize one of our roles in this community is to advance literacy, and this is why we prioritized restoring funding to this account, to the library books account, I should say. Library materials constitute a significant portion of our budget. I'm just going to quote one statistic. I promise it's the only one in my presentation. Library Journal's most recent U.S. Public Library Survey states public libraries devoted on average 10.7% of their total operating budget to materials, and that was in 2023. Our request will put us at a modest 7% as we work towards that U.S. average. So the slide that you're looking at in front of you, that's a snapshot of our total collection counts. That's everything that circulates within our collection. 87,352 physical items circulated last fiscal year, and digital access continues strong growth with 5.6% increase over last year for a total of 18,791 digital items downloaded. The library budget request includes $71,000 to support the purchase of books, media, digital content, and items for our non-print collection. The next account, I know this is a really busy slide, but I'll try to explain it. So data processing is our next account that we wanted to highlight. The bulk of this account covers the contractual increases to our operational fees and our membership to the Lion Consortium, which is a nonprofit cooperative of 30 local libraries that share an integrated library system and optimize technology through collaboration and purchasing power. So together, the 30 libraries share an ILS system, which is proprietary library software, an online public catalog with a discovery layer for access. 24/7 digital library access provides instant remote access to ebooks, e-audiobooks, music, anytime, anywhere, through a smartphone or a tablet. Delivery service for the timely, dependable sharing of materials. A dedicated IT support team. They support us with network and PC management. We have 18 staff in programming computers, in addition to 15 public access computers that they help us maintain and manage. They also provide us with our file backups, our library email system, and our web hosting. They do host our website for us. This account also funds our technology services. We provide free access to digital devices, not only to the desktop PCs that I mentioned in use in the library, we also circulate hotspots, and we provide free internet access wirelessly. The budget request includes an equipment upgrade for some of our access points to increase speed capacity and greater network security. Wi-Fi has seen a significant growth as patron preferences shift towards mobile access, and there's increased demand for remote work. Contractual. This supports one of the library's key investments, which is programming. I kind of sound like a broken record here year after year, but it really is one of our strong investments aside from books and materials. Programming is another tool we use to distribute information and share educational opportunities with our community. The programming costs supported in our other purchase services account help foster literacy, lifelong learning, connections, and they create opportunities to inspire curiosity and spark imagination. And we all know that could lead to a stronger and healthier community. A few more stats from the screen there. Last year, we offered 299 programs, adult programs with 2,800 attendees, 282 children's programs with over 9,500 participants, in addition to 84 outreach programs. These include visits to schools, daycares, childcare providers, essentially anywhere where they can't come to the library, we bring the library to them. The next slide is just our numbers slide. This is a snapshot of some of the library activity that we track over the calendar year 2025. And as you look at that, I just want to call attention to one last account, our buildings and maintenance account. Library facilities serve an important role in not only housing our collection and books and materials, but also in providing a welcoming and functional space for everyone in the community. In addition to the $1,000 in our building maintenance account, we've also requested $13,000 in funding for buildings and grounds maintenance that has been kindly transferred over to DPW to manage. And just lastly, this budget supports our core principles, which have remained the same: to foster literacy and a love of learning, to connect people to educational opportunities and to each other, and to supply them with trusted, up-to-date information resources, all with a user-centered approach and accessibility being an integrated responsibility across all library operations and services. It represents an investment in the vitality and the well-being of our community. I think we all know that our community is stronger and healthier when they have access to the resources and the materials and services they need to pursue educational or career or family or life goals, which is why we are putting into place the staffing, the services, and the facilities to ensure that high-quality service is there for them for years to come. And that's it. I'll gladly take any questions. I know I kind of raced through that.
Okay, well, the first thing is that's glaring is on the first page in maintenance, such a huge drop, but this is because it's been taken out of your budget and put into Public Works combined in the cost center? Is that,
So the
that's a huge-
elevator maintenance and the lift maintenance is now in the consolidated cost center, which I believe that totals almost $4,000, actually probably $5,000. So that portion was in our budget for this current fiscal year, and it's
Right.
now in the consolidated cost center.
Okay,
So
But-
that's a big chunk. That's the lift maintenance, the Ravenna maintenance, which is like
right.
$1,500.
So it's a decrease in your individual budget, but it's really not a decrease because it's just been
Correct.
moved to a
It's
different
been absorbed by
department.
a different department. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole cost center thing is a whole new concept to all of us on the council, and we quite haven't seen how that's going to work in the budget yet, and what's moving over. So, I know it's not in your specific budget, but it's still being tracked as a library expense, under wherever that cost center is, so.
Yeah, so it'll be, there are now 2 departments that have been created for the Consolidated Cost Center. 4,100 is facility operating expenses, so utilities, fire monitoring, elevator maintenance kind of things. And then the kind of break fix building maintenance money has been moved to 4,100, which is controlled by Public Works. And they'll, 4,300, and they're going to touch on that in their presentation.
Okay, great. So I just want people to understand that it's, even though it's a huge drop here, it's still in the budget, it's just in a different spot.
And it's still under the library.
Yes,
Right.
they're able to track it by library,
So
by
it isn't like it's
location.
actually a cut. It's not a cut.
No, it's just moved to a different department
Yeah.
Thank you.
on there. How many part-time staff did you say you had, 15 or 12?
We have 15, which
50.
includes our 2 custodians. So
Okay.
13 library staff with 2 custodians.
Okay. And based on, the program, when you talk about in numbers and all the different programs that you do, is there overlap with Park and Rec, or do you work in conjunction, or how does that work?
I would say more for special events, we try to collaborate, but for our daily story times, not necessarily, but bigger, more celebratory events, we've collaborated in the past.
Okay.
Rose, I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
How do you see the heating and cooling project affecting your staffing, hours of operation?
Meaning moving forward, or what's been done so
The
far?
new one going into Edward Smith.
Well, I'm hopeful that it'll restore us. I don't know if you looked at
I mean,
the.
they're gonna do, and I don't know, because that's why I'm asking, like, where you guys are at, because I don't know how they're gonna do it without closing the library, but.
Well, I think that was the
Yeah.
plan,
So I think we
correct?
fully expect to close for several months at a
Okay,
time.
so
and
then my second question is, so then, and we're hoping to have that done starting pretty soon and being done hopefully by, July. I doubt that will happen. But, so will we see a savings? I mean, so what are you doing? You're laying off help or?
No, we all move over to one building. So again, just
So
because.
all the whole staff is going down to?
Correct.
that
So
water?
just because we have one building closed, the service population doesn't change, and that's important to remember. So just because one building is closing, we're still serving a community of 13,000. So we're still gonna maintain every program that we have, we'll just all be under.
Oh, did you guys hear that?
one
She can
roof.
operate out of one library.
No, that's not what I said.
I knew you were going there.
I wasn't, but she opened the door.
Leading questions.
When forced to, we can pivot and work really well with change.
All right, so that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, because I know the building committee last night, we kicked it down the road, but are hoping to have it before the,
Council?
yes. So there was a few questions on the low bidder, and so hopefully, we're gonna have that so we can move forward. Because the equipment is an 8 to 10 week order.
So are you
There goes our
hoping,
July,
are you hoping for the March meeting or the April meeting?
March meeting.
Oh, so a week from tonight, you hope to
That's
have
what
it?
we're hoping to meet. We're hoping to meet Monday night and have the answers.
Oh,
So that
okay.
we can send it to the council, so
Lauren,
that they can send it to the council.
Program-wise, when are you most busy? Like, is the summertime less busy and it's probably a better time?
No, we have a
Do it?
strong summer reading program that a lot of kids participate in. So just because it's summertime, that's really when we have a special programming just dedicated to, the school-age kids to try to keep that, learning on track and those literacy skills on track. We're really busy year-round. I wouldn't say we're any less busy in September versus March. The library staff does a great job of ensuring there's a steady presence, within our community, 12 months out of the year. So there really is no opportune time to shut down a library or shut down a building. But I will say we had a little bit of practice when we did the sidewalk project. So the staff is great at pivoting. They know what they need to do to maintain services, even though we're not working out of the two buildings. They're just prepared to do it, to get over this hurdle. We'll look forward to being a functioning building. But I don't think we're gonna decrease any services just because we're all on, the North Branford side of town as opposed to being
But
spaced out.
clearly you can service programs outdoors during the summertime much easier than during the
We would
winter.
explore all options, sure.
Yeah, so you can utilize spaces probably there.
Yeah.
So it might be actually good timing if it does push out into,
Yeah, I mean,
I
I would,
August.
I would expect it's gonna be past that.
Past that to August.
Yeah.
Just because of the
The lead time.
lead time on
Yeah.
the equipment.
Yeah.
Are your collections pretty comparable, so there won't be an issue, or would people have to run back to Smith to grab stuff for people?
We're trying to decide what we'll bring over, so I think we'll bring over all of our new books. But again, one of the values of Lion is resource sharing. So if it's not something that we have in one building or the other, we have a dependable delivery service that we can easily get stuff within a few days from other libraries. So that's a major plus for us. And that's not necessarily a concern for being able to provide people with materials they need, just because it's already built in place through our membership in Lion.
What are your hours at the library?
Monday through Thursday, 10 to 8, Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturdays, 9 to 3, 9 to 12 in the summer.
10 to 8, 10 to 5?
Sorry, yeah. 10 to 8, 10 to 5, and then 9 to 3 on Saturdays.
Thank you.
So do you see adjusting those hours when you only have one library open?
You mean to expand them,
Yes.
or?
Yeah, because you only have one library, and,
To be honest, that didn't enter our mind, but I would maybe consider it, truthfully. Right now, I think we were just trying to figure out logistics. Because there is so much resource sharing that happens, the volume of material is pretty amazing. But I would certainly entertain that. I could probably talk to Rory and the library board about it.
well, I don't, you have your library staff that's at Smith Library and then at Atwater, and if you're combining them all into one place, can you work, that they get the same amount of hours, but you can expand your hours because you're all in one building now? So just throwing it out there to
Yeah.
see if that's a possibility during.
We don't want anyone to lose hours, so we would take this opportunity to either do special projects or increase programming. So that's our thinking, is that we could, use the extra staff and take that time to do projects that maybe were deferred.
Okay. Anyone else have any other questions? No? Okay, well, thank you very much for
Thank
your
you very
presentation.
much.
Ms. Horn.
The plan is, so anyway, but that's what the plan.
Oh, yeah. my agent. Like in the summer, just close
I'm sure the hybrid one, and then you don't have to come all the way down.
The program for young parents, yeah, phenomenal.
Okay, next up is Public Works.
Good evening, all. Obviously, Danny passed out our paper. We got a little PowerPoint real quick. I'm Fran Marola, Public Works Director, Danny Salentano, the Assistant Director, and Chris Holding, our engineer. So we're all together tonight. Just gotta say, last year was a very, very, very busy, stressful year. And not only doing all our work and the school work and then our addition, and then we got clobbered with snow. It's not been a fun year. So we'll be talking about that stuff later, but we're gonna present our budget. I'm not gonna talk too much about it. I'll let Danny start.
All right.
You got
Floor's
it.
yours.
My stopwatch starts now, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He's timing me. So,
Quick.
Library gave you a
Quick.
minute and a half also.
yeah, we got a couple minutes in the bag with them.
Thanks, library.
Yeah. So, good evening. Here to present our operating capital budget. Chris will follow up the pavement management piece to it. Not every line is in this budget. If we had every line in here, we'd be up here all night. So just any line that increase or decrease is in here. And we're just gonna highlight the big ticket items to try and save time. So, I'll just put the pavement management. For the 350. I'll try the second one.
Did you put it under DPW as opposed to Public Works?
I'll go to the budget.
Nope, Danny's done.
Okay.
She said a 20% increase in salt?
There it is. Sorry.
Oh, there, okay, he saved
There were
himself.
two public works folders in the G. there,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
All right, so who we are, brief slide, we consist of our 5 divisions: road, grounds, building, fleet, and tree maintenance. Just a couple pictures of, us out there. We get involved with the schools where we can. We're involved at Jerome and the FRC program up in Northford. Slide there. Who we support every department in town in one way, shape, or form. And onto the operating budget. So our overall proposed increase shows 337,737, which is 12.41%. Now, that's a high percentage. You'll see in the if you want to move on to the next slide, the next two slides here show why. These are our prior year cuts. So this is just up here as a reference point. It's in your packet if you have to look back at it later on in the process. And we're proposing, later in the PowerPoint, you'll see we're proposing to replenish the stump grinding and the road saw. So in the next slide here, this kind of shows what makes up our 12.41%. So you'll see the second two there, that's the road saw and the stump grinding. Those equal about 3%. And then the first 3.5%, it's an increase to our budget, but it's actually a shift. It went out to consolidated costs, now it came back. So in the town budget, it's not an increase. It was just shifted from consolidated costs to us, so.
That's gonna be the hard part in this budget.
That's the hard part.
So what line are we talking, the first line?
Yeah,
First line.
gas and diesel
Gas and
fuel
diesel.
for vehicles.
Last year wasn't in our budget, this year it's back in.
Yeah.
That's.
It was still in the budget, just not in your budget.
Yeah, so when
Which is
Roy
the issue.
presents the whole budget, it's really not an increase.
Right.
Okay.
So, just a quick question, so
Yeah.
on that line, do we know what departments it consists of? And what the value for each department is?
So diesel fuel, vehicle and equipment, diesel and gas, that's just ours. Everybody took their own vehicle fuel back.
Okay.
You'll see in the end of the presentation where I show where we show the consolidated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, so if you take out the shift of fuel and the two replenishes of the cuts, we're kind of around 6-7% there, which we'll explain in the rest of the presentation here. So
Okay.
this is your,
Okay, so 6.75 is the whole of what you're looking at, not an additional 6.75, correct?
Well, it's part of the
Part of-
12.4.
it's part of the
Correct, okay,
12.4.
gotcha.
Which is,
Yeah, I didn't, okay. I
essentially,
understand.
you're probably looking at like 9%, because you got to take the gas and diesel out.
Gotcha. And why do we move that there? Do we know?
Long story.
It's,
Well, we want to know.
well,
It's our job.
When I figure it out, I'll let you know.
Okay, well, let's figure that out.
yeah, it's part of this whole transition into Munis and consolidated cost and 4,300 and.
Okay.
So on to the next slide, yeah, your typical pie graph just showing our three major categories, which we're gonna jump into. So first of the three categories, personnel services, increase of 115,396. So, full-time, that's contractual with the employees, and then all the below really are just associated with that. So as an hourly rate goes up, the overtime, gets compensated as well. Retirement as well. Social Security, you see a decrease there. So the story with that, as we transitioned from our old Excel sheet into Munis, it seemed we picked up that we were budgeting seasonal help at the full 7%, 7.65, whatever it is, as a full-timer, when really it should have been the 1.45. So there was an increase in Social Security, but then that decrease with the seasonal help kind of washed it out.
okay.
So that's why you see that anomaly there, which kind of worked in our favor this year. And then seasonal and part-time help. Seasonal, we keep $1 or $2 ahead of minimum wage, trying to stay ahead there. And the part-time mechanic, he just stays with the rate of the full-timer. So are there any questions on personnel services?
So there's no new positions?
No, nope,
Okay.
no new positions.
Backfill of positions, but no new positions.
Yeah, we are backfilling existing positions. Yep. Yeah. So on to our second out of three categories, materials and supplies, we're up 154,859. So the big ticket ones would be construction materials at 52,190. 40,000 of that is your salt. That's what we're looking to reinstate. That was cut last year, and obviously that's a hot topic this year because we burned through it. And then the other 12,000 is your, the stone went up that we use for road projects. Concrete structures went up, they have rebar in them, those prices go up every year. plastic pipe, it's your typical increases. And then obviously, 94,000 of that number is that gas and diesel, so it's kind of a skewed number to say increase. But, and then uniform and boot allowance, so that's, I call that the once every 3 or 4 years, when we sign a new contract. Sometimes it's negotiated that they get a small increase on their boot allowance. So you won't see that for another couple of years in the event that it's negotiated again. Any questions on materials, supplies?
Yeah, explain the gas and diesel to me again. Why is it 0 to 94?
So, yeah, if you look at our prior, if I had all our prior years lined up here, you would see it at the, maybe 80, 85, 87.
It
Last
wasn't
year
in
it
the-
was
they
pulled
moved
out.
it
It was moved out last year,
To the Consolidated Cost Center.
and now it's being moved back
And now they
in.
put it back in. So it's in the budget, but not in theirs.
All right, just,
Yes.
It's for administrative
So
and
we
billing
didn't
purposes.
have that number in our budget last year.
oh, okay.
It used to be in there all the time, then we took it out and went to consolidated costs. Now we brought it back. So that's why you see the number.
And that's just for public works,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we want to see we got to see the numbers
Yeah.
when we're
Okay.
pumping fuel like crazy.
Yeah, so his question is, this is only for public works, vehicles and
Yeah, like
everything
fire
else.
department.
It's all
using the
us. It has
same-
nothing to do with the consolidated, what we're talking about.
Well, it has nothing to do with police or fire or
Yeah,
anyone
no,
that pumps.
they're all
This is
using
only years.
the same pumps, so.
That's correct.
All right,
The
so,
same thing will occur with the police budget, though.
And the fire budget?
Gasoline will go back into the police budget.
Yeah,
and the fire budget?
yes.
Fire, did it ever come out?
I don't remember the truth.
Yeah. We discussed operationally what made sense in terms of what goes in 4100, what stays in the departments, and we determined that for the fuel, and the way that we account for it, it made sense to keep it in the individual departments. And so we
And
moved it out.
how is it, I mean, it's all in this, like gasoline, for instance, would be all in the same tank,
Yes.
right? How is it accounted for?
We have a management system. Matter of fact, that's in here because we have to upgrade it
Well,
because
yeah,
we're
but the
losing
major
it, but
departments want
it puts,
their budget so they
we
can
know
see
exactly how much gas the police
not to
pump, we
consolidate.
pump.
Okay.
The
all
fire department comes in, it's all coded.
right.
We don't do dollars, we just do gallons.
Okay,
And then we get a spreadsheet and that's how we pay the bills.
okay.
So, moving on to the next category, the last one here, contractual services, up 67,481. Big ticket items, the equipment maintenance, this is your parts for repairs, from a lawnmower to a payloader, a pickup truck to a large truck. I mean, we're gonna well exceed that number this year, just on repairs. The fleet is aging and parts are going up like crazy. It really is crazy.
Lot of breakdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, these last two storms. We're gonna get into that in the capital.
And then, I guess the other big increase there is equipment rental going up $8,600. So, we're putting in to rent a screener for 2 weeks a year, to screen topsoil. We currently have a screener that we bought secondhand, probably a decade ago, I would say. And, it's tired, it's getting towards the end of its life. So we screen our own topsoil, we make our own topsoil. We have a surplus of it from the high school project, we have a surplus of it from the police station project. We didn't let the contractor take it and sell it. So the pile is the size of this town hall. We GIS measured it, I mean, it's screened face value, probably worth about $500,000.
So,
By $500,000. So if you go in surrounding town budgets, you'll see they have $20,000, $30,000 line items in there for buying topsoil. We don't, we make our own. So even though it's an increase that's gonna be well spent.
Was it to get a new?
No,
No, this is just to rent.
Just to rent
Okay,
one,
okay.
2 weeks a year, hammer it for the whole week and.
is there a
build up
lot
our
of raw
pile.
material left to put through it?
Oh, yeah, I got a pile bigger than this town hall.
That's raw?
Yeah, raw.
Oh, okay.
Raw.
So you're screening as needed?
Yep.
You're not
Yeah,
making
we can
piles
Well, we
of-
screen for the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
So
why
we
they
put a
only
big
need it
pile
for
up
2
for the
weeks.
season.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it all depends on the projects too, like with the high school and TVS, last year we were burning through it.
Yeah, of course.
And that's all money we would have had to spend if we didn't have our
If you're
own.
doing road repair, you're putting on the side where you
Oh, yeah.
put the curbing in.
Field maintenance, all the
Yeah.
fields.
Yep, all the
comes
Board of
from
Ed
that.
fields.
What do you intend on doing with all of that, though?
Just keep using it.
We just keep using it.
We probably use 1,000,
Don't make any
2,000
more
yards a
dirt.
year.
Yeah, at $30 a yard roughly.
Anytime we do a road project, all the roadsides are that's all topsoil.
And we're doing Twin Lakes this year, right?
Yeah, that's not gonna be on us, though.
That's, the grant is
the-
paying for that, so.
Oh, the topsoil there, so we
Yeah.
don't have to do that, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, well, that's
So-
a plus.
yep. That's the only big ticket item, I guess I would say in this category, unless there's any other questions. Actually, if you move to the next slide, it continues, so, next one. Other contractual, this is included in this account. We're looking to replenish our stump grinding, which was $20,000, stump and brush. Snow plowing contractors, we're looking to bring back up. We farly exceeded the amount that we have there this winter. Obviously, it was a bad winter. We're lucky if we only have to do it once. We had to do it twice this year with the 2 storms. So between the roads and bringing in loaders for, the Board of Ed buildings, it was expensive. Custodial services, it's showing as a decrease. This is a shift to consolidated costs, so decrease in our budget, but it is a shift. It'll still live in the town budget. And then, yeah, nothing else really too major there. I guess the 2 additions, vehicle and equipment towing. We find ourselves towing a lot of vehicles in the winter now. Could just be the bad winter, but we do it a couple times a year. It is kind of becoming a contractual service at this point. And then the addition of equipment transportation at $3,600. And I think it holds the record for oldest, 1987 Ford L8000 cracked the frame finally. Got a quote to repair it, it was $20,000. To put 20 grand into a truck that, I don't know if it's worth 5, never mind repair the frame, something else goes down on it, it's just be throwing good money into bad. So rather than spend big dollars at this point on another truck, because that's set up like a 5th wheel truck just for towing, we're gonna contract it out at $3,600 a year and see how it goes. We have locals that could haul equipment, and we may find that this is cheaper than spending $250,000 on a truck or buying someone's used truck and,
Used probably.
So
Yeah.
that's just moving like your excavators or payloaders?
yep, so just the large excavator and the dozer, that's it. Yep, payloaders drive, so. Other than that, the rest was typical inflation and well monitoring, lift inspections, GPS, which we recently spoke about, pavement markings. So if there's any other questions on contractual services?
Yeah.
Pavement marking is growing now, we're putting more lines, we're doing a lot more stop bars now, so,
No.
times are changing. So we're picking each plow route, trying to do 2 routes a year just to do stop bars, because they're required on
How do you
a collector road.
determine the tree cutting services? Do you have a plan for that?
So we have our own arborist who takes our highway guys out almost on a daily basis and does trees. That $12,000 is there for like a specialty job where our bucket truck can't reach it. Every once in a while, we get to the point where we have to do something.
Need a crane to take a tree down.
Crane, you'd be surprised what, sometimes 30 feet up someone's front yard, we actually own the tree. And, things get funky.
We cut hundreds of trees down here,
Yeah, we have a work order system that shows.
hundreds.
It also too, in a snowstorm, our tree, we're all plowing, we may have to call someone in to, do something if we can't push it off the road with a loader, so. That's what it's there for. All right, moving on to, I think 4,300. Yeah, so this is, I put it in yellow, it's a little funky looking up there. Because this is not part of our budget, so I didn't want you guys to think that this was part of it. This is just a little presentation as to the creation of 4,300.
This is coming from other departments into yours?
Not into ours, it's a separate department that we manage.
Oh, okay.
So it's
A new
not part of
department.
our 12% increase, not part of our $3 million.
But it's from other departments that.
Yes.
Their departments show a decrease, and
This is
this
it.
is where it's going.
Yep. separate
This is where
department.
we should, like, glue this right here.
Yeah. So as you can see on the left, facilities maintenance,
All the B.
there's all your departments with the numbers that we put in. We talked to the department heads, whoever had a building and came up with the number. On the bottom there, kind of covers a bunch. This is your day-to-day repairs. So this is not putting carpet in, not painting a library. If an air handler goes down, it's $8,000, that comes from the equipment, the reserve.
This
Right.
is light
This
bulbs.
is day-to-day.
and Filters.
This
Yep.
is what they would have had in their budget for maintenance.
Yes,
Yeah.
day-to-day.
Parts, it's all,
Yeah.
all small
Yeah.
parts, small,
Yeah.
small.
Because your department is taking care of these repairs.
Yep.
For the most part.
Yep, and once upon a time, a doorknob, we were sending paper up to Smith to get signed and sending it back down. So now it's all in its own department, we manage it.
So do you have a process that you'll be able to identify at the end of the year, the costs associated with each department?
Yes, I believe Munis should show it as a sub-department.
Yeah, not only
Why did we?
which department, but which location. So in the event that it's a library, previously it would come out of the library budget. Now it comes out of the library budget and it's noted as either being Smith or Atwater within Munis.
So everything that we've done at whatever building we're at, the bills will be there. It'll all go under them.
Okay.
The paid bills.
Yeah.
It's just easier it's a lot less paper and confusion of who's doing what, so.
And then on the right, you'll see vehicle maintenance, same concept. The police cars, they come into us for the oil changes and the tires and the brakes and all that stuff. Fire department, that's just a small fraction of their repair budget. We do a little bit of work to them, but a lot of times they go and get contracted out to the specialty. And then the rec center, that's for the senior vans. They're pretty.
What do we do for fire? Just
They
curious.
do light maintenance work.
Like what?
They're not gonna do.
Well, we used to do everything but pumps. Now they contract a lot of it out, and then when they get jammed up, we do the ambulances, oil changes, tires,
Yeah.
brakes. So we do that for the ambulance. The fire department apparatus is going,
I understand the
Contractual.
apparatus, but I mean the mechanical truck parts, the engines, the drivetrain, the brakes, and how, where's all
It's a
that?
combination of the contractor,
And us.
we use Ed Boughton. He's an emergency vehicle technician,
Yeah.
which you need to have that certification on fire trucks. So the fire budget total, I think, was 85,000 for maintenance. So 75 is basically the contractor, and 10 is covered by Barrier Public Works, oil changes, wiper blades, small things like that.
so that department's taking care of around about 100 vehicles. Vehicles, not even equipment, just rolling stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand because I saw the
I'll
numbers.
just let you know,
10,000.
100 vehicles, two and a half mechanics, was a lot.
Yeah, sometimes it's based on operational needs too. If we're in the middle of a post-snowstorm, fixing a
Snowstorm.
bunch of trucks and they need something done, and we can't get to it for a couple days, so it goes,
Might be worth keeping in a house to that, yeah.
So that $10,000 then is part of the fire department's budget then?
No.
No.
10,000 is living in Department 4,300.
It's all part of that department now.
Yet some of it goes outside, it is in their budget because they're utilizing an outside resource.
Right.
It's the same
The
thing.
75, yeah.
You'll see
It's
what we're
figured.
spending on fire, police, when we're paying the bills, it'll go to.
Because when that was created, I thought it was just that you guys were managing it, but it was their money. But if you're saying it's not anymore.
Well, that's money we're actually buying parts for. We're spending that money.
We're
So it
managing.
not
came out of
paying-
their
we're not
depart-
paying
They
Boughton.
came out of their budget and it went over here in this.
Once upon a time, it did come from their budgets into ours. The problem with that is one department has an overage, who's paying? It's in our budget. Now, it's our responsibility to find the money, or we gotta go, bark up their tree, try and get the money from them. So that's where we came up with this consolidated, department. And, maybe it'll work out where, the rec did a little less and, Smith needed a little more, and it all balances itself out at the end of the year.
So I have a question.
It's one
on this.
department.
Who, because I'm a little concerned on, I know I'm new here after 24 years of sitting here and this thing's different, but seems like the rest of the group is all confused too. Who decided what they were gonna pull out of what, and I guess this is, if Rory knows, or Anthony, who's running, who's driving the ship here? Who's taking this budget, the whole townwide budget, and dividing it up, and the town council doesn't know about it?
Well, it's been discussed.
I'm
at
just
council
reading the
level
room tonight.
previously. The goal is to streamline operations, as Danny had mentioned.
I get that part of it.
Right.
So why wouldn't, so whoever you have doing this, in all my time sitting on the council, they would have brought their ideas, and the town council would have gone over the list and said, yeah, this makes sense. No, this doesn't make sense. So who's doing it? Who's our guru?
I wouldn't say it's a guru. I think we have a team that meets, myself, Dennis, Mike, Rory, try to figure out the best way to handle it, streamline things. Again, like vehicle maintenance is a classic case. You know, why would Carrie sign off on an oil change bill? It's handled by Public Works, at Public Works, let it live at Public Works.
Yeah, I'm just talking in general. I'm not picking out one item here. It's just like, there's been an awful lot of questions from the guys that have been sitting here that they have no idea where this stuff came from, or whatever, and I never saw that in my tenure on the council, so we don't have time for that discussion tonight, but I'd like that on our council agenda at the next meeting, so at least I can get educated on it, so.
Because it is different than I thought it was when we started it. It seems like a good place for money to get lost.
Yeah, I mean, the consolidation that we talked about was, from my understanding, on smaller things like contractual, phones, oil, stuff like that, right?
That's 4,100, yeah.
That's 4,100.
4,300.
43, I myself don't recall this, so I want to know more about it as well.
All right, so.
And I don't.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We could team up, we could get more information for you, and if you watch our budget presentation from last year, it all kind of got seeded there. We went on a 20-minute
So.
side conversation
Don't pick,
about it.
I'm not picking.
Yeah,
on you
I
guys.
understand, yeah.
I'm picking on the big picture.
Yep.
I'm not picking on it.
Yeah, no, I
I'm just
understand,
trying
yeah.
to educate myself.
Oh, it's a, you know,
So I just have
valid concern.
one quick question, Dan.
Yeah.
So on the police, do you do all the work on the police, or they have to go to an authorized?
We do majority of the work on the police cars. I mean, if it's a transmission or something crazy, so if, you know,
Okay.
operational needs after a snowstorm, if we don't have time, it gets sent out.
I'm assuming
we
there's
got jammed
warranty
up
work
2
as
weeks
well.
ago.
Yeah,
Some of the
there's
cars
warranty
we
work
sent
as
out,
well.
We're not
they had
adding
their
on, yeah.
work done.
Nope.
You know, we're just over. So we do 99% of the work.
And where do they go? If you
The
don't-
police, I think Texaco. I think-
Texaco, Fort of Brantford,
Yeah, Fort of
depends
Brantford.
on, you know, the amount.
Depends on what it is.
Yeah, if it's a larger amount, they have to get 3
And
quotes.
some of the warranty work goes out. We don't do
Yeah,
the
to
warranty.
the
work.
dealer.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's 4,300. Move on to capital. So we're in at $734,110 this year. So the first 2 payments we are married to. Those are lease payments on plow trucks, large plow trucks. The first one we received and has been on the road for a year. Second one we are still waiting on. The truck is in, but the outfit is still being done. It's a lengthy process,
So that truck is not in use yet?
not in use yet.
One is not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
When will you have that? When will it be in use?
By the end of the year,
What's that?
the hook, the 750, it should be done by
It
the
should,
end
by
of the year.
the end of this, we should get it by, I hope, July, the end of June, July.
Yeah. So, the-
You go ahead.
no, go ahead.
So we had a bad winter, so we lost 3 trucks this winter. One was in an accident, not our fault. One blew its rear end out, a 1988, which we can't get parts for, and then the other one is the horse, which we decided we're gonna lease out. So we're in a little bit of a quandary here. We gotta do something. The trucks that, the truck that got hit by the car is at the body shop now. They're going through it with the insurance company. We're not even sure if it can get fixed. It might be able to. We're kind of up in the air yet.
It's depreciated value, so it's not worth.
Yeah,
what
if we got money
market.
for it, we're gonna take it, but it's not gonna pay for a
It's not gonna
truck.
buy a new truck.
Yeah, it's like a new truck.
We got 6,000 for the last one.
So we have it in
The plow's
here.
18.
We have it in here for a buy, just a payout, not lease it, because we already got 3 leases in here. I don't know if it's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen, but you gotta be aware of it. We have to do something.
Right,
We're running on,
yep.
we're being very, and it's cost us a fortune to fix those trucks. They don't make parts for them, the frames are swollen, and,
We got it.
so, we'll let you know what's going on. Hopefully in the next week, I'll have a really good idea.
So, yeah, moving on to the mini excavator there for 98,000. We currently have 1 mini X. Gets used between the road crew and the tree crew every day. It's a joke and a fight over it in the morning. So getting a second one would increase productivity because we could send it out with the tree crew every day. And you get more accomplished with the excavator. Trucks definitely take priority over that though. There's a need versus a want, so. Grounds and other equipment, replace Toro mower at $86,000. So you see those big wing mowers mowing the parks and the Board of Education fields. We had 2 of them, they both went down. One kind of runs on its last leg at this point. So we bought the demo unit there a couple months back in the fall, which has been kind of getting us by, not quite as big, but this unit will be designated to athletic fields, so mainly your Board of Education fields and the couple of parks. Definitely well needed. Picture, it's hard to say, but picture a 60-inch wide lawnmower mowing these giant fields. The guys are there for 5 hours mowing. It's crazy. Small equipment reserve, that's your $25,000 annual. That's in there every year. We used it last year. A $10,000 compressor goes down in the shop to work the air tools. We could approach that account and buy it and keep moving. Right down to a $300 drill or anything in between, so. Paint wash bay interior. The wash bay was built in the 90s, I believe.
Yeah.
So, anyone's welcome to stop by and we could show you the rails in there are pretty rusty. It's a wash bay, moisture. 20-something years worth of moisture and salt. It needs to be painted. I mean, $10,000 is a wise investment because it's been bounced in and out of the budget over the years, and if we don't do it, we're gonna find ourselves in a lot heftier repair there to at least the structure, not the foundation. So if you want to click the next slide, I'll explain the trucks a little. Frank kind of explained most of this with the 2 trucks that we're looking to replace.
Dan, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
The large mower that you need to replace, what year was the one that just went down? How long do they last?
So we had a 2012 and a early 2000s was the other one. So 2012, which, it's kind of disappointing.
So the 2012 is the one that went down?
Yeah, so the older one went down. We bought that yellow demo unit back in the fall when we came to you. And now the 2012 went down. It barely runs on its last leg. The blades aren't spinning as fast as they should. It leaves whiskers. I mean, we're using it for the Poco field right now, but
What happens
really
is
it.
you can't get the parts after so many years. It's just like these trucks. You can get parts, they're used parts, you gotta get them out of New Hampshire. So it's difficult and it costs more money to fix them.
So if we buy a newer mower, we're probably talking 12 to 15 years?
12 to 15 years, yeah. We talk to these big towns and they all have, they have replacement plans. They buy the unit, they know how much they have to put away every year, and in 15 years, the money's waiting. We kind of just run stuff till it goes and then we're here. So,
Yeah.
we're here.
Something we need to change.
Well, we started.
Yeah.
We started doing that with.
Yeah, we started, yeah.
Yeah.
It's costs money.
All things do.
Yeah, exactly. So those 2 highlighted red trucks, those are the ones Fran spoke about. That would get us out of the 80s and the 90s and finally into the 2000s, minus our big boy down there. That's the yellow truck that we use in a big storm.
They're older than Danny, by the way.
Yeah, my first plow truck was 7 years older than me. That was fun. So, yeah. So that's where we're at. Fran spoke about it. It got whacked. We might only get a $6,000 insurance check on a truck that's $333,000 to replace, and that's where we're at. the 1988, the rear end's possibly smoked in it. We're waiting on an answer, but you get into a rear end and you start looking at the associated leaf springs, brakes, and are we gonna sink money into a 1988? You know, it's good money into bad, so. Are there any other questions on capital at this point?
No, I'm good.
All right, we'll hand it over
All
to
right.
Chris for pavement.
Chris, you have a minute and a half.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So I'm going to present the pavement management program. This program serves as the fundamental foundation of our capital road improvement plan. I'll review how the program was developed, the current condition of our road network, the types of roadway improvements we have recently completed or will be completing, and finally, a summary of the requested funding needed to maintain our roadway system. So the South Central Connecticut Regional Council of Governments funded the project to create the pavement management program. As part of the effort, the data collection vehicle equipped with cameras and sensors drove every town street, approximately 81.9 center miles, collecting detailed pavement condition data. Once the data collection process was completed, the information was analyzed and used to develop the town's management program. I'm going to stay on this slide for a little bit. So based on the analysis, the town of North Branford received an overall road surface rating of 73. The rating indicates that our road system is generally in good condition. The score will serve as our baseline benchmark, allowing us to measure our roadway conditions, how our roadway conditions improve or decline over time. Pavement management is based on the theory of predicting roadway deterioration over time. A key aspect of pavement management is recognizing that roadways do not deteriorate at a constant rate. Instead, deterioration accelerates during certain points in the pavement's life cycle. Understanding this pattern allows us to intervene earlier with preventative maintenance, which is significantly more cost-effective than waiting until the roads are in poor condition. Let's see, so I think this is the right one. This slide shows the road surface rating scoring system and the road condition descriptions associated with each rating. Yeah, the one before that, Maury. The ranges for North Branford roads are from 31 to 100, where the higher scores indicate better pavement conditions, and the lower ones, obviously, are more extensive repairs. To help prioritize roadway projects, a series of cost-benefit values were developed. The CBV is a planning tool that considers several factors: traffic volumes, type of repair required, and the current road surface rating. These factors allow us to prioritize projects that provide the greatest benefit to the community while making the most efficient use of the available funding. This doesn't always mean that the worst road rating results in the first road project. It's not always worst first. Next one. This table shows that the estimated cost to improve all town roads, to address surface improvements alone, the total cost would be about $14.5 million. It is important to note that this estimate only includes pavement surface work. It does not include sub-base repairs, drainage improvements, or curbing, which can significantly increase the project costs. Next one, so this table illustrates the cost of roadway repairs based on RSR ranges. As shown here, the lower the road condition rating, the more expensive the repair is. So you can see here, these are the lowest ratings, 0 to 50, and that's the most extensive road repairs. This reinforces the importance of addressing roads before they reach severe deterioration. I'll go to the next one. So our goal is to focus on funding on preventative and routine maintenance in these two sections here. Preventative maintenance is the first step in protecting pavement, primarily by keeping water out of the roadway structure. Water is the #1 cause of pavement deterioration. You can see this on many roadways where potholes develop, which are often caused by the freeze-thaw cycle when water is present. All right, can I go to the next one? This graphic illustrates the relative cost difference of pavement treatments. The least expensive treatment is crack sealing, which helps prevent the water from entering in the pavement through the cracks. Our strategy is to focus on the left side of this chart, where preventative maintenance treatments provide the greatest return on investment. slide shows the asphalt deterioration curve that I referenced earlier. As you can see, once pavement reaches a certain level of deterioration, the rate of decline accelerates significantly. At that point, repair options become much more extensive and more expensive. The final graphic illustrates how annual spending levels impact the overall road surface rating of the town's roadway network. Based on the model, annual funding of approximately $1 million allows the town to maintain the current level of road ratings. This level of funding helps ensure that we continue preventative maintenance and protect investment of our road infrastructure. Two major projects that are coming up will increase our road rating. The Brook Lane project, which was coincides with the water main project, and Twin Lakes Road. Next one. So crack sealing, as we talked earlier, is the most cost-effective method for preserving pavement integrity by preventing moisture infiltration and slowing the deterioration process. It involves several steps. A mixture of asphalt, cement, and reinforcing fibers is placed into and over existing cracks to seal and prevent further damage. This treatment extends the life of the road 2 to 5 years, while also minimizing traffic impact. This type of preventative maintenance helps us address problems before they become much more expensive. Fog seal with rejuvenators. This is a project that we just used this past year. This process was in the neighborhood of Gale, Nida, and Venta, and it performed very well. So if you want to take a ride out there, you can see how this was another cost-effective method. Fog sealing restores the flexibility to aging asphalt. It seals the small surface cracks. It also slows the oxidation and weathering of the pavement. Overall, it is an effective method for extending pavement life and improving surface durability. And this process is done on more recently paved roads within the 5 to 7 year range is when we want to get out here and do this process. Microsurfacing. This year we will begin using a treatment called microsurfacing. You can see the little video up there. Microsurfacing is a thin surface application, approximately 3/8 of an inch thick, made of high quality aggregates and asphalt emulsion. This treatment provides several benefits. It restricts moisture intrusion into the pavement structure, improves skid resistance, and enhances the overall appearance of the roadway. And microsurfacing extends the life of the pavement from 6 to 8 years. Next one. Some of these coming up are ones that you're probably much more familiar with. Mill and pave. You just remove the top couple inches of the pavement and then repave the road. Next one. And then you have the cold in place recycling and full depth construction. So this is the most expensive when the road base and road is pretty much completely failed, then we have to go to this method. All right, next one. So now I'll finish with the presentation by reviewing the 5-year management plan, which outlines the projected roadway treatments and improvements based on data collected in the pavement management program. In addition to funding for pavement treatments, there's also a capital request which includes $260,000 for engineering and final design for improvements to Twin Lakes Road and Sea Hill Road. Construction for these projects will be funded through a state grant called Local Transportation Capital Improvement Program, or LOTCIP. The current estimated construction funding levels for these two projects is $5.1 million for the Twin Lakes Road and $4.1 million for Sea Hill Road. I imagine that once we get the final design on Sea Hill, that the cost will also go up. The anticipated schedule for these projects is over the next 3 years. This represents an excellent return on investment as the town contributes approximately $300,000 in design funding to leverage nearly $9 million in state construction funding. We continue to look for grants on different projects to make sure that we can utilize outside funding from the town funds. So to summarize, the total funding request for the fiscal year 2027 pavement program includes $623,000 in town-generated funds, $301,000 in municipal grants, and $274,000 as part of the town aid road funding that we receive each year. So these funds will allow us to continue to implement the pavement management program and protect the town's roadway and infrastructure investment over the next 5 years. Any questions? Or- I know it's a lot of information.
The micro thin overlay,
Yep.
how old can the road be when you actually put that on?
So again, that's, let me check to see what they got here. So that is sort of a mid-range. So the neighborhood we're doing that is up by Oxbow in that neighborhood. So there's a section of the upper Oxbow, which is in poor condition, that we're going to be doing more of a mill and pave process up there. But the rest of the neighborhood is in good condition. I think we crack sealed there maybe a couple of years ago. So that's a good time to go out there and do that process.
All right, thank you.
I live on Gale Drive, and that Fox Field
Yes.
is absolutely terrific. How long is it going to last? How long does it last normally with wear and tear and everything else?
Yep, so that's, I think it's 2 to 5 years. So that's, essentially your road was probably in the road rating of about 90, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood. So it bumps it back up to at least 95 to 100. So then you start all over again on the deterioration curve. So you jump back up to the higher level. So, keep an eye on it, see where we
Well, it
go
seems
from
like
there.
it's much smoother ride now than
Yeah.
it was before you Fox Field did,
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. And one thing I forgot to mention is, if you look on La Salette, we're looking to convert to the concrete curbs, the extruded concrete curbs. I think it has a really good look, and for the most part, it has a great adhesion to the pavement as we go along. In other areas that I've seen it work, has been great throughout the whole town. So that's what we're looking to convert to now.
Is it repairable?
Yes. Does it just happen to be in the yard nearby?
Yeah. Because it is a nice look, but, it was a rough winter.
Yeah, I'm gonna come take a look at that and see what happened.
Okay, thank you very much.
Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, so next is the Board of Education. Okay, so you weren't here at the beginning when we started our meeting at 6:30, so I'll just make the little note that, so tonight's purpose of this meeting is just a quick overview of your budget. There's, we'll ask some questions if we have questions along the way. There's absolutely no action that is being taken at this point in time, and we're trying to stick pretty much to the 30-minute time slots.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Mhm.
This is, don't follow this evening, this is what I handed out. We did a couple of quick school visits and did PowerPoints for what we're bringing forward in the budget. We're doing a very condensed version tonight, so I want you just to have this so you can see what the public got, okay? You can look through it at another time and kind of get a better understanding of where we're at.
We saw this in our earlier meeting.
No, it was part of it.
Part of it, so this is the entire.
You'll see that.
Oh, yeah, all the different, it's from my company. They stole
closer to a client. I took it. Okay. All right, so as I just mentioned, this is a really concise version of what you have in front of you. In the past, we've given you obviously quite a bit of information. We have brought 2 budgets to you every year, and this year we're doing something different. There's one budget. We are bringing to you a level budget, moving everything forward from this current year. So there are no new staff members, there are no new teachers, there's no new nurses, there's no paras, there's no administrators. We're looking to be at the level that we're at right now. There is no new initiatives, there's no new programs or anything added to this budget. So you're getting the skinny. So the first slide that you'll see is basically what makes up our just over 7% budget, okay? Approximately 80% of it is salary and benefits. You know, we've projected our benefits to be at 9% of an increase. For a family plan right now, we are paying $38,000 for our insurance. Salary is with the contractual obligations moving forward. We recently settled the teacher's contract that you voted on. We have 3 more bargaining units that we'll do in the spring, so we projected roughly where that would be, and that's all incorporated in this budget. So you can see that's the lion's share. Everything else, all other parts of the pie are minimal. You'll see a bump in transportation, and our business manager can explain that, why it's at the percentage that it's at. This past year, we had to dip into our 2% fund, that carryover fund that we have by state statute, and we had to move $600,000 into this year's budget because last year, as you were well aware, we received $200,000. We requested 6.39. We got less than 1%. So we did a lot of juggling to get to where we're at this year. To make that up, 600,000 was from the 2%. We lost 10 positions. We eliminated 10 positions from our staffing. We incorporated a pay to participate. So if you play soccer or you run cross country at the high school, you pay $125 to do that. Okay, so these are the things that we had to get creative with to offset last year. Okay? This is by category. I'm not going to read this, but you'll see the percentage change in the far right-hand side, broken out by the various groups: salary, benefits, tuition, facilities, teaching, learning, support, tech, transportation, administration, and then all totaled out. And it comes to 7.09. The bottom line speaks to the transportation piece that I mentioned with that carryover, and that's why that is at that percentile. The 600,000 that we had to use for this year. Okay? Bar graph shows the totals. This is, again, pretty much similar to what you saw on the pie chart. What makes up this budget? Benefits and salary. Transportation, that's the bump that we just mentioned. Okay? Our staffing totals from 25 to 26, as you can see, under certified teachers, we had to reduce 6 teachers this past year. We eliminated the coaching model for English and math, our math specialist. We reduced by 1 English and 1 math that we moved from the high school to the middle school. We also reduced secretary, 2 custodial positions, and other, I'm trying to think where else, if that adds up to 10. Nurses stayed the same. I have to have 4. Oh, and my security, thank you. We reduced security really by 2 FTEs. We had 1 retirement that we did not fill, and then we reduced the hours of the other security guards to gain another 1.0 FTE. So security guards are going home earlier in that shift. We took an hour off on each side. So we're down 2 security positions. I have 8 administrators. I do not have a assistant principal at the high school right now. We did not fill that position this past year. I will need to fill it this year. That's a position that we have to have. There's a significant savings by not doing that, but we can't function again without that position. There's too many responsibilities for that position. If anything, the high school needs the assistant principal more than, not to say that the middle school doesn't, but it's a critical point for what that position does with teacher evaluation, with student deportment, with working through the summer months, with scheduling, working with the guidance counselors. You're really a jack of all trades in that position. Okay? Our enrollment, the good news is that we are counter to what we're seeing in the state of Connecticut right now. They're guesstimating a decrease of 500,000 students over the next year, and obviously it's the urban versus suburban, but we are increasing in our enrollment by 3 students. I think if you drive around town, you notice the size of the homes that are being built and how quickly the houses are selling that are on the market and going for over asking price. I think this is a trend we're going to continue to see, and we're holding steady and with a slight increase, which is a really good sign over the last several years in the community. Per pupil expenditure, if you look from 22-23 going down to 24-25, we're actually less than we were in 22-23 at 22,191. We did a slide, you'll see in your other chart, comparatively to other towns, and we are the lowest per pupil expenditure in all surrounding towns. Our historical increases over time, what we've asked for in our proposed budget increases going back to 21-22, and what we received. So if you use a percentage point to equate to approximately $300,000, in 21-22 we were asking for just over 600,000, and we got a 0 increase. That next year, if you were to do the math, it would be just over $1 million. We got less than 1%. 23-24, you can follow that all the way down to last year when we requested almost $2 million, and we received $200,000. So over time, this has created the situation where we've cut staffing, we've added the pay to play, the pay to participate, the student activity fees. We've moved and zeroed out our 2% fund with that transportation shift to balance this year. And that is why we're coming with a level 7.09 to carry the district forward with our current staffing levels. Okay?
Any grants sunsetting?
Any what?
Are any of the grants sunsetting you should be aware of?
No. That's not in this one, but in your sheets that you have, you'll see a full page of all of the grants, state and federal, that we do receive. Okay? Capital request, tomorrow evening we have a communications meeting. John Florio is going to come and give a very detailed update of the estimated cost for the gymnasium HVAC system. We put $180,000 gym flooring when we had water permeate and ruin that floor. Without having proper heating and cooling in there, we're worried about the floor getting moisture and buckling. This is something that needs to be done in that building. It's the original system that's in there. So he's already met with the engineers, electricians, and I think 3 different vendors for this. So he's going to be with us tomorrow night to share that with the communications team. We put a rough estimate that he had done last year at $250. He'll update that tomorrow night, so we'll have a hard number the next time we meet. The $65,000 for replacement commercial range, oven, and dishwasher are at TVS as well, and those are off the state bid list. Those are actual prices for those replacements of the 3 different products. Okay? That's it. That's it.
Okay. So I have a few questions. How are the grants and the tuition that you charge reflected in your budget? where would we find that?
The tuition for
Pre-K?
preschool. You'll notice if you look at the line by line that we sent you electronically, and I also have copies here if anybody would like one. You'll notice that there is no allocation for preschool teachers at Jerome, and you will also see there is no allocation for preschool paraprofessionals. So the preschool tuition of roughly $181,000 and our Smart Start grant of $150,000 covers the cost of our paraprofessionals and our teachers for preschool. And in regard to the play to participate for our clubs and activities, we reduced roughly $71,000 off of our student advisor lines. There are 4 lines that you'll see in the budget if you look through the detail, and they're all under certified salary, object 111, so they're in the beginning. 2901 is the object code for student activity. That's where we have our stipends for our clubs. So things like yearbook, student council, National Honor Society. And then 2921 is our program number for athletics. And that's where all our coaching and athletic stipends are found for our sports. And so those 4 account numbers are where we reduced the $71,000 that we're charging for participation fees.
Okay, so the other grants that you might get from the list of.
Title I, IDEA.
Yeah, on page 14.
So
how are those reflected?
So in our, I do a detail, salary census for each of our buildings. And then for IDEA, which is our special education, and IDEA 619, which is for preschool, those amounts are taken off of the salaries for the special education staff at each building, and the same for Title I.
Okay. So is it safe to say that all of the grants that are listed on this page are reflected somewhere in your budget?
Yes.
That it's deducted from?
Yes.
From there? Okay. Okay. Okay, then, so there's several new people on the council from previous years. So, and I know, some of us have gotten this information before, but can we, before our budget discussions start in April, can we get a breakdown of the Fund 25, what Fund 25 was paid for prior to, fiscal year 23 and before? Because we have the last 2 years in here. So anything prior to that went into Fund 25?
I have with me, as I throw it on the floor, here it is. So we have 2021, so that's one copy, and I can certainly send you.
You can just give it to Rory, because Rory can take it, and then he can.
This is all the years that they're looking for.
That's 2021 through current,
the last
but,
2 years.
yeah.
Yeah, but Rory can scan that and send it to us. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then, can you get us a list of the accounts and the amounts of where the savings were generated in the last 2 years of the 600 plus that went into the account 25, the 2% fund? How did that 600 plus, where did it come from? Which accounts out of the budget?
I see. Okay,
Did you
yep.
have savings from that
Yes.
you could account for? And then also, if we could get a balance of what is in your food service and the FRC accounts as of fiscal year ending 6/30/25, and as of December 31st, 25. The actual cash in the bank.
Just
I
for
think.
food service?
Food service and FRC.
Food service. And you said June of 25 and December of 25?
Correct.
Do you want year-to-date as well?
Sure. You have it.
Okay.
Okay. Does anyone else have any question?
In your list of grants, I don't see the special ed ECS grant. You don't, the money that you get back every year, you don't consider that a grant?
We reduce our non-public tuition account number in the general fund by the amount that we receive. We don't categorize it as a grant because it's based off of our expenditures from the general fund. So the funds that we do get are used to credit the non-public tuition account. And I believe I used an estimate of $175,000.
And you should be getting another amount sometime before the year's over, right?
Yeah, the state does February and May payments.
My other question would be, you said before that you weren't going to be adding any staff or whatever. Where would you get the monies for an assistant principal at the high school, which I do believe is important, but how?
It's in there.
You have it in there.
Part of this budget. Yeah. That's something we have to do. Last year, we had 2 deans that we paid a stipend to do it. They're also classroom teachers and a guidance counselor. And it got us through the year.
No, I think it's very important. I just wasn't sure how to
that's how we did it.
Yeah, to be fully staffed.
Yeah. So
I got
that's
it.
that's carried this year.
How many students are in the preschool program?
We have approximately 60 total.
60?
Approximately 60.
60? And you don't have to give it to us now, but what's the total cost of the preschool program?
Why don't you come up to the
I was hoping.
I knew what that looked like. Get me to the microphone.
Yeah.
Well, that's just so people can hear at home, otherwise they can't hear
No,
you.
I
So-
totally get it, I understand. So we currently have 4 preschool classrooms. We have 3 4-year-old classrooms, 1 3-year-old classroom, so that means that we have 4 certified staff. We range approximately, I think we averaged, because we were prepared for the conversation, approximately $60,000 per teacher. And so if we look at that $60,000 per teacher, we then have 2 paraprofessionals within each classroom. When we look at that information, we're looking at a total staffing cost of approximately $400,000. When we talk about the cost, we are also now taking on tuition. And so our estimated tuition when we came last year was $185,000. Our actual, once we sent out our invoices, ended up being at about $184,000. So we were kind of right where we were. We have been taking payments in. I think at this point we lost 1 family due to moving, and then there's just a couple of changes because it is income-based. So that reduced itself a little bit. We did look at what the cost would be if we eliminated, and before I say this, I'm going to say I completely disagree with a fully self-contained model where we're only supporting students with disabilities, because I think it takes away from the intent of what we're doing. But knowing that that might be a question, we did do a proposal of what this would mean. We would lose both our Smart Start grant, so that's $150,000 that we would be losing, and we would be losing the $184,000 in tuition. It would be costing the district money if we were to go that route. So right now, the model that we currently have, which is an integrated program, is the most cost-effective model that we currently have in the district. To do anything other than that would cost more money, an estimated increase of $194,000.
Because you would lose out on the grants.
We would lose out on the Smart Start grant, and we would also not be charging tuition anymore. And we still have to run the program for the students with disabilities, so that leaves us with 27 students that we would still need to provide for, which requires still 3 classrooms, so 3 certified staff, But now when we have the classrooms with only the students with disabilities, we have a higher need of there's more students in that space with the higher level of need. So we then need to have more paras. So we're not really, so we're saving one certified teacher. And that's really the extent of it, so.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And, I mean, financially, but also it doesn't make sense when we look at what we want for the district in terms of our students to be able to be successful in kindergarten through grade 12, because the benefits of early childhood education far surpass a lot of the other initiatives that we might have.
And what does it cost for the tuition?
It's income-based. So we utilize the Smart Start grant, the Office of Early Childhood sliding fee scale. So based off of a child's family's income, the family size, it's a percentage of that. So some of our families are paying a very nominal fee, others are paying a little bit more, but it is income-based. And we did put a cap on it. I believe our cap is $10,000, so it will not exceed that. But when we look at the comparison of what our highest payment is right now, it's still less than what community providers are charging.
Yeah, it's very comparable to what's out in the marketplace.
It is, and you're being taught by certified staff, you have a curriculum, we offer transportation, so there's a lot of benefits that come with it.
These programs are pivotal for Foundation. Again, I know we're kind of right outside of that world and moved into regular elementary school, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Thanks. One question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned in your presentation that you had cut some custodial staff, okay?
Yes.
So, my observation from when I was on the permanent project building committee with Al and Jeff, when we were putting the high school together, we raised concerns about maintenance. We spend $70 million on a new high school, give or take, and then we spend pennies sometimes to fix these things up, and what happens over years is you end up with a police station that's falling apart. So, I mean, did that really hurt, or were John, the boys and the gals are being able to keep that place in decent shape?
Listen, we're understaffed. There's no question. We have 11 total custodians in the district. We run 2 shifts. We have 4 buildings that are 125,000 or more square feet, not including an auditorium. We have 1 custodian there during the day. In each of the buildings, there's no one in the auditorium. And in the evenings, we have 3 at the auditorium / middle school, 2 at the high school, 2 at Jerome, or 1 at Jerome, 1 at Tutucket, and they share. So it's too much square footage for the personnel that we have, and these are the hard decisions that we had to make. Again, you're right. You've invested $60+ million in a state-of-the-art facility it's spectacular. And the biggest thing we want to do is we want it to be kept clean. We want maintenance to be updated and everything so that we're not putting bad money into bad money.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And that's every building. It's just, it's a
You've
lot
had
of
some changes of staff there, right? I mean, there's been some changing of the guard.
Yeah, there's new faces and things, but when you look at just numbers alone and the amount of square footage, I mean, there's studies and data for what you should have for the square footage of your buildings and what your expectations are for, a cleaning service that's going to do what you need them to do, not run through empty trash and, hit a couple of windows. I mean, it's much more detail oriented. Plus, those buildings get used year-round, in the summertime, in the evenings, for all of our youth programs, all of our sports programs. So they're constantly being utilized.
Does that include overtime that you lost a person? How are you making up that time?
We're not. We have fewer people cleaning the buildings. So we've funded level for 11 people next year. There's no additional custodians. There are no additional secretaries. There's no additional teachers.
Scott, what did you have 2 years ago? What was the number of custodians you had 2 years ago?
I had 15 2 years ago, and I'm down to 11.
13.
13? 13.
So I don't understand, and Scott, I know I cornered you at a basketball game. We spent a lot of money on those buildings, and I don't understand why the custodians wouldn't be replaced.
Well, again, these are hard decisions, and I respect it. I'll be the first one to say we're understaffed. But when I look at
I mean, okay, I'll turn it
Class
around.
sizes-
Are you happy with the way the school looks right now?
You
I
want
haven't
an,
I haven't walked around it.
you want an honest answer?
Yeah, I want an honest answer.
Yeah,
You know
no,
that.
not. It's too much.
All right, so that's,
It's,
All right.
there's too much space, there's too much activity, they're 24/7, 7 days a week. And we're thin at the other buildings as well. But this is your showcase, you've got the auditorium right between it and the middle school. So on that campus alone, each and every day, you have over 700 students, 500 staff members coming through every single day. The auditorium being used in the community. And tonight we had a basketball game, we had everything else going on. So, no,
yeah, and tonight's tickets went to the state, right?
yeah, I don't get it.
How do you handle the different technologies that are in place now? For instance, I would assume the heating and cooling, that's state of the art compared to the previous high school.
So,
Because those are key, in my mind, key maintenance issues.
Sure.
That whether we have a contracts to.
we do.
Okay,
We do.
that's.
We do.
okay.
John Florio oversees and manages that and, works with Tom and the systems, the heating and cooling systems, and they're all computerized.
Yeah.
So John can look at his phone and he knows what's going on in the buildings. And, so that's a big responsibility.
Yeah. And the other thing, on the grants, it looks like the grants are ending, like 4 of them, unless I'm reading it wrong, in June.
So the Title I IDEA, those are 2-year grants, so every 2 years, when one of those grants falls off, then a new 2-year grant will come on.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Does anyone else have any other?
Yeah, one more question. Did I miss something? Did you say you're down one security?
I'm technically down 2 FTEs in savings, 1 security guard that retired. So what I did was I reduced the 7-hour shift to 6 hours and the 4-hour shift to 3 hours. We used to cover every building prior to the students getting there until after they left, including the late bus. We eliminated our late bus at the middle school. We've gotten a lot of pushback from that, surprisingly. I underestimated that, but the security guard would get the students and be in the parking lot after school onto the late bus and be around for practices. Most of the activities happen in the afternoons after school, and we have a large number of kids out on our playing field. So we always had a security guard around to make sure that if there was a problem or a medical, they were there. But we've had to back those hours down because of cuts.
What kind of a concern is that for you?
Concern?
Yes.
If you follow what's happening in the world that we live in right now, I don't think we have enough security, in my humble opinion.
I agree.
When you look at gentlemen that are paid $21 to $24 or $5 per hour with no medical benefits, that carry a sidearm and a police radio and know what their responsibility is and come in and do that job. And we're $7, $8, $9, $10 cheaper than any surrounding towns because I've had security guards go to neighboring towns. And the fact that we've held on to our current staff that we have and have, we're understaffed there too. They're a deterrent, they're visible, they're in the buildings, they're a big fabric of our school community. The parents love having them there. They love being there, and the kids identify with them. They get more hellos than I do. They walk through the hallway, hey Charlie, hey Charlie, hey Charlie. Hey. It's that old community policing model where they're in the streets and they're in the areas and they're outside at recess with the little ones in the front area on Route 80. That's a concern for us. Anyone pulls off of Route 80 and has access to that playground like that. So, that's something that I commend the council. Years ago, we put that in place, after Sandy Hook, and we've held to it, and we're still, we're a model for school security in the state of Connecticut.
Would a school resource officer be well received?
It's too expensive. So what happens when you do a school resource officer in uniform, you're paying the rate of that officer minus the summer months when they go back on the road.
Correct.
So for one officer, if an officer is making $99,000 starting now, and I had to employ him for 10 of his 12 months, I'm on the hook for about $70,000 for one guy in one building. My entire team for every building from before to the end is $300,000. The bang for the buck that I'm getting with a $23 an hour, zero benefit employee, and these are all certified post-trained. They have to, do the same things that our North Branford police have to do. They have to qualify on the range. They use the same radio that the police use. So we're really getting an incredible deal for what we're paying our security officers.
I know it's something that's definitely of interest to folks that are, have kids in the school system. And I commend you for putting that program together and keeping it together. And I wouldn't want to see it limited or reduced at all.
Well,
If anything, I'd like to see it bolstered.
I can't say enough about how parents feel when they pull up and there's a security person standing there, and when they pull up to go home, or when they enter the building, there's someone in the door.
Yes, I'm one of them.
Yeah, and it's anyone can get into a building, let's face it. If you want to get into a building, you're gonna get in. The time it takes for law enforcement to get to a building is what you're concerned about. And the time, that you have people there on site makes the difference.
You said they're $22 an hour?
They range, I think I gave them a quarter raise, 25% raise last year, so that my highest supervisor that does the scheduling might be at 24, 25. I think he's the highest.
Yeah.
The rest of them are in that 22,
Yep.
23. They get a quarter each year, then they don't,
But there's no benefits, right?
none.
Just hourly wage. And they're mostly former policemen?
They're all former. They had to have 10 years' experience, retire in good standing. We have deputy chiefs, we have lieutenants, we have, high-ranking officers from anywhere from the state police, New Haven, Hamden. Their backgrounds are incredible. And they love doing it. They retire in their 50s and they still have a lot to give, and we've had some that have been with us for 10 years.
It's great.
They love it.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Yep, so just a recap of the budget experience or process going forward. So the public hearing will be on March 31st at North Branford High School in the cafeteria at 6:30. This is, according to the charter, we have to do it prior to, on or before April 1st. So it will be on March 31st. And right now, we have budget workshops scheduled for April 7th, April 14th, and then finalizing on April 21st. We know that you were on school vacation for the first one, so we will not do education on that first one at all. So we will work on capital in the town on that one, and then go from there, on there. So.
Thank you for having questions this year.
31st.
So.
For 6:30. So we just gotta remind everyone.
Okay.
All
All right,
thank you.
you're good.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, we're not talking about that now.
Thank you.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is if there's any other questions about the 2026-27 budget. So it's my understanding you will have the budget for us next week or not? Is that, I don't like that look on your face, but that kind of told me that's a no.
There's your answer.
That is the goal. If not at the meeting, it will be that week. But I'm not sure it'll be ready for Tuesday.
Is that due to some value engineering that's going on, or is it?
Yes.
Okay, it's fair.
Combination of things. One thing that we've been discussing and putting together is trying to put something together for you to make the consolidated cost center a little easier to follow, where these funds were budgeted in which years, so that you can track the money and understand it a little better.
I'm not a crazy fan of them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, okay, I really need it, we need it before we go into the public hearing on March 31st.
Absolutely. It has to be to the printers by the 24th, and so you'll have it before then.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so we're getting printed copy and then also instructions as to how to do it, Munis read on, view only, or what are we getting?
I mean, the takeaway that I had from when we discussed who wanted Munis training was nobody. If people do, we're happy to provide it, but we were going to move forward with printed documents.
I think for the purposes of the council, to have Munis training is good, but the printed copy we're having in front of us, we're not gonna, sit on our laptops and key into
absolutely.
things. We want to be able to take notes. I know as I'm doing this, I see you are as well, we're taking notes, putting highlights, so I want a printed copy.
But is the printed copy as much detail as prior year's budgets? No, see, that's the problem.
All right, I mean, that is a problem.
But I
Why?
thought we
The
were
question
getting,
is
we were gonna
why?
be able to access Munis if we wanted more detail.
Okay, I get it. I understand
No?
we changed.
When we discussed the budget schedule, we discussed whether.
I know you can pull it though.
You wanted a special
pull it.
meeting to do Munis training, and the consensus was no. And so, we said it.
Well, that was just so that we didn't use one of these meetings for Munis training, but we were gonna get both.
First off,
we were gonna get
Whatever
both.
someone wanted.
It's a matter of figuring out how
That's
to
what
do
I thought,
report,
too.
Smith. It's in there. The data's in there. I know how these systems work. They're there. We just don't know how to build the report to extract the data that we need. We know what we need. Is there still some funding left that, and it's
So-
probably a matter of maybe, and I don't know for certain, so I'm just saying, generally speaking, we can make a call to our sales and or
Well, so
support staff.
what I handed
help
out-
that project get built.
What I had handed out at the February meeting is what you will receive. So it has all of the, on the department level, the current budget, the previous budget, current actuals, and 2 prior years of actuals, which is what was provided previously.
Right, but does it have the detail, like when we look at Public Works and you see full-time salaries, it has a list of all of the guys.
Correct.
Their salaries, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Is that on the printed version that we?
Yes.
Oh.
I have
Yeah,
a question.
No?
Well-
No, it's not.
Okay.
You talking about the spreadsheet you're gonna give them?
See,
Do you get the summary sheet and then the detail sheet?
Yeah, it's,
well,
we'll get you something.
getting
it's-
something and having, and also having access so that if it's not on what the printed version is, we need to be able to have access for those that want to go into Munis and view only to see the kind of detail that
Well,
we've
by
got.
charter, we have to cut line items. So you're telling me we're not getting a budget with every line item?
Oh, you will. You'll have the object numbers. You wanna cut 5,000 out of fuel, this account number, you'll have that.
When the budget is entered into Munis, all of the object codes for every department are there. Within the object codes, everybody except the police department has entered in the detail into Munis. So when we export it from Munis, it spits out 2 different spreadsheets. One is the summary sheet, that is the line item totals.
Yep,
Additionally, it has the detail for what is within those line items. So it exists and it provides the prior year actuals, the current year actuals, current year budget, and next year projected budget,
okay.
except for the PD. So Jim put forward, the same formatted documents that he's done previously.
And that was the easiest one to read.
Okay. All right.
So what are we getting?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get the summary plus the detail.
Yep.
And
right?
then
We're getting it all.
And then if we want, we can
drive into what
individually
lines.
come in here and
100%.
make an appointment, and what's one of you, give us this.
Well, what's on the computer that we're not getting in paper?
what comprises, the line items are derivative of X, Y, and Z, so it may, I'm assuming.
So you'll get, for example, in a salary line, the town manager's budget will have, town manager, assistant town manager, executive secretary. Then within Social Security and retirement, you'll have the same broken out by employee. In other contractual, you'll have, the cost for drug testing, for background checks. It's going to be itemized like that, like it has been previously. The only department that did not enter into Munis at the detail level, itemized like that, is the police department. And so we will give you what we were provided.
So if we wanted to see, so I'm gonna pick out the librarian. So the librarian, and I'm going back, I'm a dinosaur, so I'm dating myself. But we used to see they used to track their mileage for their car going back and forth to the libraries, and so we could see what that was. So where am I gonna find that this year? Like what it was this year and what they put in for next year?
When they enter the budget, they put in
Like transportation or mileage or whatever the account is.
reimbursement, and within that, they also provide a projected amount for the current fiscal year.
Okay, so
you'll
that's
have
gonna
you-
be in
Yeah,
the-
you'll have year-to-date actuals as of when we export it. And you'll have a projection for June 30th for every detail item.
Okay,
We've recreated the paper spreadsheets. Every column will be there.
okay. So,
It will all be there.
so is there a budget book with the tabs in it by each department, or are we just getting a ream of paper?
So we will give you a ream of paper because that's what we will have available.
Okay.
Self-tabbing.
When we have the budget books, we will give you the budget book that will be tabbed, but Munis doesn't do the tabs. And
Yes, so we're gonna have to go through and kind of make our little notes as to what department it is.
the departments will be labeled.
I know, but we can't see it, you have to flip through them all
Mhm.
to say, oh,
Anthony,
here,
you don't have to do this for me tonight.
No, it's good to see. It's good to see.
here's library, here's, public works, here's central services, here's social, because right now, we have all the tabs in the books, and you can just flip to the tab.
Why can't we get it like that?
Because we're in a different system, it doesn't produce it like that anymore.
So
We're
this
in a
is,
different
this is
world.
the different world.
But there's
This is
systems
the
like that.
Public Works Department. So you'll see the columns that Roy referenced. Okay, so regular employee, $1.6 million. This year, he's gonna end at $1.5 million. His budget is, $1.5 million plus or minus. Those are the columns on an object basis. So you wanna cut, 54,301, building maintenance, whatever the number is. So that's the tab. It's in the bottom. There's two tabs. Roy talked about projection accounts. So now if you go to projection details.
So we're getting this
Yep. For every
paper
department.
form?
Yep.
Okay,
We'll
so-
see this, okay.
Well, okay, so on that form there,
On the
wasn't
first
there?
one?
Yeah, go back to the first. Wasn't there a column we're taking out of here, because there's
Yeah.
just so many freaking
Oh, yeah,
numbers
yeah.
on it?
This is
There
not
used to be
cleaned up.
I know.
This is
manager,
everything.
Yes,
So
but,
you can have the same
proposed.
format you had historically. On the left-hand side, we can put the historic information.
Okay.
The right-hand side, the 27 budget, so it's very similar. We're
Okay.
for 100 years.
okay,
The budgets to the right mean nothing to us currently. That's just columns that I just ran out now.
right,
So
okay.
that's the first sheet you'll get for every department. Then the detail, as Roy had mentioned, okay, here's what you, before. Now, the thing that's missing is before, maybe you had Fran Marulla and Danny Celentano. You have director, assistant director, some people put names, people put departments. There's all your highway employees, again, without the names identified. We could put that in, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
The full-time account, 51,610, broken down by person. So the detail is there, is it, so it's, I think 800 lines, so we could break it out and subtotal it in the various categories.
This is raw data. Yours will be formatted when you get it.
So now we're into Social Security, now we're into pension. So here's your 54,304, which is his vehicle maintenance.
okay, so there's.
So you
there-
broke down,
there's-
you see the breakdown of,
So there's not a separation after every.
There will be, like we're saying, we'll split it out, we'll subtotal it by the 54,304, we'll subtotal it by Public Works, we'll subtotal it by all the departments, so it's gonna take some massaging on our part, but we'll get it as.
This is all we need. This is good.
Yeah, well, between the two of them.
The goal has been to recreate what you've gotten in prior years.
This is good. Perfect.
It'll work.
Yeah, I mean, if there's something that you want driven into further, I'm sure we can go to you and ask for it.
Just like it's been the past
We'll tell Brooke,
years
she'll
is
do
good, right?
Yeah, all that will be available in Munis that you will not get on paper is, you know, for the budget book in the spreadsheets.
You know that.
This is the Munis version of it. So what you had before was spit out, export it out. So this is Fran's full-time accountant, regular employee. If you wanted to get into Munis, you chop open the left-hand side where it shows you that there's a note in there.
Okay.
And everything you just saw is now there. So the spreadsheets make life easy. Avoid you from having to go in, click the left-hand side, open it up, get out, click the next one, open it up. We'll have it all spreadsheeted out for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is good.
So it's not gonna be the same identical that we've had historically, but it'll be the same information, just kind of massaged.
Yeah.
That's good. Perfect.
Okay. I'm glad I have an old budget book, because I'll just put them in my tabs myself, so I.
And we'll give you a cheat sheet that says like 4301 is Public Works,
The only way you're gonna-
4305 is, right.
4301, do you know that's Public Works?
No.
Because it doesn't, I mean, it says it
We're gonna
on
do
here.
formatting so that the departments are labeled, the line items are labeled, because we don't expect you to know the entire account structure.
Yeah, I know. That's good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, I'll put you on the spot. I may have asked a similar question at a previous meeting. When the budgets were presented, I'm assuming they filtered through you? Okay. So, did you issue, I don't know what your policy was, did you issue guidance to heads, only put in what you need, keep it reasonable, or was it ask for what you need?
They all know.
Well, again, they're taking direction from you, so.
Yeah.
What did you tell them, if I may?
There are no department heads who were not here last year. So at most, what most of them have done is restore cuts that were made last year. That is, you know, this year's version of extravagance. Capital is more, you know, there are some wants in there and not needs. But in terms of operating budgets, it's pretty lean.
That was the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. Is it lean?
Yep.
You know, true needs kind of thing?
Yeah, and again, that's, the department heads submit it to me, and then I will review them, make cuts in my recommended budget. You know, one thing that Munis has that the spreadsheets did not, that you have not had before, Anthony, can you scroll to the right a little bit?
Sure.
So, two things. And this will be in what you receive, it will not be in the budget book. But there is a column on the far right there, justification. And so, you know, previously you would have to wait until the budget workshops maybe to ask a question about why something is in there. We tried to have the department heads be proactive, and we said if there is any change, there should be a justification provided with it.
Yes.
And then,
Good, okay.
I like
you know,
that.
Yeah, that is good.
as we move forward to next year, and ensuring that we're tracking the changes, what we're gonna do in that justification column, there's gonna be the department justification that will be labeled as such. If I make any changes, I will enter into that field, the justification for my cuts. And then when the town council makes changes, they will also go in there. And then next year, the final document will serve as the basis for the start of
Well,
next.
that's good. That's the right way to do it.
And so it's all documented, it's all in one place.
Push forward method.
And we can do it as soon as July 1st, so that as people get notifications from,
This is what Roy's talking about here, the description
Yeah.
column and then justification column. So if he makes a cut, we'll call it, you know, TM, you know, cut. And then next time we'll put, you know, TC cut, whatever. We can keep it in here so we'll see the history going forward.
That makes sense.
and people can track changes throughout the year. We can enter in the salary data that is, set by contract in July instead of January. There's no point in waiting. We know what it's going to be. I understand that it is a lot of change, particularly when paired with 4,100 and 4,300. There are benefits to doing it in Munis.
If I may, the only question I have being new to this, and I'm not on the finance subcommittee, is for me, it's new obviously, but it's like, well, this money's going here, but it came from over there and it's gonna do this.
Yeah.
So if I have 3 streetlights out at the new high school, who's paying for that? Board of Ed or this 4,100? Who's doing that?
Yeah.
Is the police station responsible for fixing that sidewalk, or is Public Works? I'm confused about who's doing what. There's no spreadsheet.
A lot of
says
it
we
comes
fix
down
this,
to
it comes out of that money.
the budget document being the basis of our operations, but it not aligning with how we actually operate. So
Run that by me?
So the budget is the basis of how we operate, but it wasn't actually aligned with our operations.
Of how things work.
Oh, okay, so, okay.
Yeah, so
I got
for
it.
example, Ken Public Works does all the building maintenance. He had none of the money in his budget.
I see, okay.
And so every single transaction has to get signed off on by the library director, by the rec director. And it was just an added step. It's not discretionary spending, it's stuff that they asked for in the first place. They notified Ken that the door is broken and needs to be fixed. But prior to Munis, when everything was not digital, that involved inter-office mail that sometimes would take a couple of days to transit between the buildings. And so as a result, things were being paid late.
Well, if I may, the only downside to that possibly is that when you had, let's say, the police department saying, I need to fix this, in that person's head, this is a priority for me, I gotta get that handicap ramp fixed.
Right.
However, if you're in a pool account, well, you get prioritized with everybody else. You might get your ramp or you might not.
Well, so it'll
Right.
be, they are budgeted separately, can you call it 4,300?
Shouldn't be bold, unless I can see very minor general maintenance.
We
Maybe
have
pool.
better by pooling
Light
it, right?
bulbs, something like that, something where we're doing some cost
And open up
center,
the
whereas
maintenance
it's a cost center that we are buying everything in bulk, like we're buying oil as one, or something like
Right.
that.
So-
Electricity.
Okay.
This is 4,300 in Munis. They are budgeted separately. And again, it comes down to the account structure in Munis. The third set of digits, 4,300, that's the department. If you look at, go to one of the vehicle lines.
It should be in.
The second, so it's 4,300, then 4 zeros,
Sorry.
and then it's 4,201. That's the police
police.
department.
Okay.
And so within 4,300, the money is kept in separate departments.
You got police, you got fire, you got park.
So
and
it
rec.
is 100% separated
You got
and
that.
tracked.
No, that's what I want to ask.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm a little confused. When
We're all-
Public Works was here, and they had that 4,300, and they had
Yeah.
the different categories, the different departments.
Mhm.
So there's $10,000 in an account.
Mhm.
So they go in and they do a brake job, they do an oil change. How do they move the money out of that account, and how do they get paid? How do they get compensated? Or how does that
Well,
money
they're
get reduced?
they're just tracking it. So if they're doing brakes on an ambulance.
Okay,
Okay, $10,000 is allocated for the fire
For the fire
department.
department.
So they bring in a vehicle, it costs $2,000. It gets coded to the $2,000 for whatever the fire account
Right.
here. Vehicle repairs fire, 4203.
Correct.
So it gets, so.
but
they're
money
10
doesn't transfer, it's just.
No, it doesn't transfer. They're tracking it. It stays in. it stays-
Previously, Public Works had to submit it to the fire department. Now the fire department sends the ambulance over, they say, do an oil change, and they can just process the payment. Without,
All right, I got it.
But it begs the next question, do they ever run out of money? Because it
They
seems
might.
like,
They might.
but I know,
And-
it seems like every time they come here every year, all of their accounts are zeroed out, there's no residual balances left in any of these accounts when they go ahead and make their proposals to us. Like, let's say last year it was 10,000, they have 4,000 left over. Do they come in with another 10,000 or do they come in with 6,000?
No, it
Goes to
doesn't,
general.
it doesn't stay.
It doesn't
It
stay
can't
there.
stay. Unless we establish a non-lapsing account for vehicle maintenance
Goes back into general.
So that money goes all back into us.
to general fund, and then we reallocate the next
Correct.
year.
That's why the general fund grows and depletes, because
I
we
just
utilize
wanna
it in that capacity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
So who does the
it's all
administrative
falling.
work on that?
On which part?
Like, let's say, the police department needs a brake job on one of the cruisers, and they bring it into Public Works, they do the work, you know, and somebody's gotta code that document of some sort, someone has to do that admin.
The
admin
Public
work.
Works Secretary.
Huh?
Jerry,
The
Public
person-
Works Secretary.
Okay,
And so previously, she was doing it anyway,
okay.
but then we had to send it over to the fire department to be
So Jerry does
processed,
that.
over to Parks and Rec to be processed. Even when we digitized the process,
It's a not efficient process, is what you're telling me.
there's an extra step.
Yeah, okay.
The vehicles are already being sent over to Public Work to have the work done. The work is authorized.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're actually saving a
What-
couple steps
what
here.
about-
That's the whole idea behind it.
But outside of vehicle maintenance, let's just say that library needs something painted, or whatever. Does Lauren then have to go to Public Works and
So
pull
is
a
that
ticket?
4,100?
That's a 4,100, that's not the 40.
Well,
Three.
Oh, 43?
So-
43?
Well, 43 is.
Oh, no, there's a maintenance account.
43 is maintenance,
Yeah,
right?
so
That's
the
what I was
question,
talking about.
the question came up earlier about, how we determine what goes where.
Right.
So for example, if in the Parks and Rec budget this year, there is still $2,000 in their oil line. Now, all heating fuel was moved to 4,100. 4,100 is the operating costs of facilities.
The operating maintenance account for.
No, operating accounts, like.
Operating as
electric-
opposed to
Oh, okay,
fixed
operating,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Okay, repair
Yeah.
and operating costs, right? So, the $2,000 is for the propane for the stove in their kitchen, which is separate from heating fuel. So, basically what it came down to, for the firehouses, there was a question about the cost for their septic tanks. Should that move to 4,100? Should that stay in the fire department? And the answer is basically, if it's not something that you want to add an extra layer of process to, so, you need your septic tank pumped at the firehouse and it's an emergency. And it's a Saturday and Mike Fumiati, who oversees 4,100, is not in. Do you want it in the fire department budget or do you want it in 4,100? So it remained in the fire department budget. The kitchen fuel, same thing. They gotta cook lunch, they need propane. Mike Fumiati happens to be on vacation. Do they want it in his budget?
So essential
Or do they want it
repairs
in-
versus non-essential repairs is essentially what we're looking.
Well, so 4,100 is the operating
Operating.
costs.
Yeah,
4,300 is the repairs.
the emergency repairs.
No,
Right.
just
Just
repairs.
repairs.
Building repairs and maintenance as opposed to the operating costs,
But it
utilities,
still doesn't ask.
monitoring, et cetera.
It still doesn't ask, I don't get the answer of,
See,
let's just take.
there's building maintenance there.
No, I get it, but if they want something done, they have to go to whom to get it authorized? It's already authorized, or, so they can,
Well, the way it was explained to us, so
What's
let's,
the-
if Lauren needed something painted, she
Yeah.
knew that she wanted to put that in.
Who's Lauren?
At the
Library.
library, Lauren
Okay,
Davis.
I don't know the names. Go ahead.
Okay, so if she wanted something painted and she knew the estimated cost was $4,000, she would put it in her building maintenance for facilities, and there's a separate account. So she would include that as part of her $13,000.
gotcha.
Dollars.
And then it would scale into this account. and
So,
that's where-
so
Yeah.
then she would, when it needs to be done, Franny has a whole system of them they have to fill out the paperwork, a system to say, okay, I need painting here. It's already in her budget.
But who's approved and denying? That essentially, if it's already in the budget, it's automatically approved.
And, previously, when these costs were in the departments, is Lauren putting together the library's electricity budget?
No.
She's not. Central Services was always doing it. So, again, we've just tried to streamline the process. She had to sign off on every electricity bill. Is she monitoring the electricity bills that closely? No. She might notice if one is way out of whack, but when it's all centralized, one person is overseeing all of the utility bills.
That makes sense for those type of, that type of service. Like, it's a group service, it's there regardless, it's for all facilities. That makes
Those are
sense.
monthly expenses that you expect every month.
Get even crazier one, Jeff. We used to have the cell phone
Control
bill.
that.
Yeah,
30 departments.
I remember.
Had to go to 30 people
I
to
know.
sign off
I
on
remember-
it.
Which was
Before it got paid.
fascinating. I remember here.
So now it's
remember we
centralized,
changed.
one person.
And when it's centralized, we can look
That's
at
one bill
economies
that
of
you have.
scale and how we can save money on
Yeah.
these things. When a little piece is living in each department, it's really hard, it's much harder to track.
Well, I think part of the problem last year during budget time, because I remember this, is when we got the budget and this idea was proposed, some budgets had it taken out of and put in centralized service, some departments still had it in there. And as we went through it, it was like, oh no, that should be out of there, that shouldn't be in there. And then it got very confusing because it wasn't all put together. It was kind of a piecemeal thing
Understood.
on there.
That's kind of where I am with it right now.
Yeah.
Because to me, it almost seems like, maybe you can clarify it for me. Let's just say the library's budget is $1 million. It seems like, because Franny's managing it, right? It seems like the money that's being spent there is almost like not even part of their budget anymore when I see it.
It's not in there. That's why she had an 82% decrease in maintenance, because it's not in her budget anymore.
But it's still
in the
library
budget.
money.
It's still in the budget, but
Yeah.
it's rust in this
Right,
4,300.
so they can say,
account.
oh yeah, we're only spending 82,000 this year instead of 100,000. It's like, no, you
And
still
we,
need your 100,000.
and because of this transition, this is the whole discussion that we've had previously about historical data.
Yeah.
We're not going to, it's going to take a little time to get the historical data.
Which is why we're gonna do our best to provide you a separate document. We thought about the best way to proceed. Do we try to reconstruct it, put those costs next to the department costs so that it's clear for you where it's coming from? Or do we present it as it exists in the budget and provide supplementary documentation to try to help you trace the money? So you can see that it's not,
Forgotten.
not forgotten and not, you know.
Raw example, right? Library has its fund, but the painting is not in it.
Right.
So the painting is gonna be next to it, and it's gonna show you that the painting of the library came out of the 4,300 fund, not the library fund? Is that what you're saying?
That was an idea we tossed around. Ultimately, I think what we're gonna do is provide you, so you see 4,300 right there. We can provide you the actuals from prior years that existed in the departmental budgets next to those items. So you'll have the history. It won't be in the budget document. We're gonna provide it to you separately so that you can see like a linear progression for each of those lines.
It almost seems like there's a risk that we could end up artificially inflating the budget.
Right, that's, yeah.
I mean, you know, it's just a risk, I suppose, that is there if we don't handle it properly. You know what I mean? If we don't handle the budgeting properly, like if 10,000 would have been in this account, but now we're putting it in this account.
That's gonna be on them. to make sure
No, I
that
know,
happens.
but we have, you know, it's,
Makes it hard
and us
for
to
us to
find,
see.
us to find it and, you know.
So I'm curious, Anthony,
Yes,
just
sir.
just to educate myself, what did this cost and what's the annual cost to have it?
Oh, it's part of the Munis package. There was no
Right, the
additional
Munis
cost.
package, what did it cost?
Cost us
I know nothing about it.
50 a year,
How much?
50 grand a year.
50,000 a year.
It's a
And was
maintenance
there an
cost.
initial cost or not?
Yeah.
Oh, the $500,000 you probably have invested in from the beginning. That was the whole Munis
Wow,
conversion.
you guys must have been smoking crack when you decided
Well,
to do this.
And they're just figuring out how to run it now.
Yeah. The history,
Yeah,
Al,
I
was.
mean, I'm sure that
there was-
2 years from now, it's gonna be easy.
Oh, that's what you said 5 years ago.
How many years have we been paying 50,000?
Since 2022, 23 was our first year.
Yeah, so.
But you really didn't use it.
We did
Well,
not
that was our
use-
first year starting, we started July 1/22, going live on it.
But we didn't use the budget process.
It was a hell of an
We didn't
Until
use budget
now.
till now,
Lot
yeah.
of
And
training.
to be perfectly honest, we've been asking we met with North Haven recently about a sewer issue. The finance directors there, they use Munis. Do you use the Munis budgeting module? No. A lot of towns that use Munis do not use the budgeting module.
Everybody uses Excel. Because Excel can calculate. Munis can't calculate the mill rate for you.
Munis, they have an assessment and tax module that we do not use. They bid when we bid that out, and it was significantly more expensive than the.
So we don't
software
have
that
it, we didn't purchase it.
We
so
did
don't
not
have
purchase it.
Okay.
We don't have that
And
one.
as a result, the grand list is not in Munis. And so you cannot calculate the mill rate in Munis.
So wait a minute, so
So on the parallel on the side, I'm going to run Excel spreadsheet that I run for 30 years to do the mill rate calculation. If you cut $500 out of tax, what does it have on the mill rate? I'll be able to tell you.
And there's no import to take from, usually there's an API that you can take that data and import it into the system, even if you're not buying their technology.
Right.
There's typically a marketplace of allowing some form of data bridge or API to pull data from one system into this system. It's typical.
We can look at it, at the end of the day, you know, the mill rate itself, you need the grand list value, which we have. You need the
It's just a whole
revenues.
separate calculation. It's a.
Well, but
separate-
it's a
We need that every,
calculation
like,
with
4
four
minutes.
numbers.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's not, once, the difficult part was getting everything into Munis. We're there,
Except for
And-
police.
except for police. And
Pull it, please.
I don't blame you.
So, what's the benefit of, if, like, for instance, you said some of the other towns have Munis, but they're not using the budget module. So what's our benefit to use it? What's our benefit to using it? Just so,
there are, you know,
what's the upside, the downside?
everything is in Munis. And so, for example, when you go to put together, your, taking aside salary, let's say the other contractual services line, you can run an accounting query. And you can see every transaction in the current fiscal year that you have put in that line. And you can assemble your
live
budget
off
that
an
way.
Excel spreadsheet for that stuff.
All the data is in Munis already. And previously with the spreadsheets, Anthony still has to take every line and enter it into Munis so that there is a budget in Munis. So we're recreating the wheel
Several times.
by doing the spreadsheet. Now, we just push a button and the budget goes live.
So now we just have to deal with the learning curve.
Right.
Yeah, that's what this year has been
So
about.
for our 500,000, were we able to eliminate, like, people?
No. Board of Ed hasn't got the payroll working yet, believe it or not.
So my next question
They
is,
built the high
why is,
school-
why
they
is,
built the high school
why
and
is
their finance
everybody in
person didn't
Munis
come
to
to
the,
one
to
meeting.
detail, but not the police
Did you?
department? That doesn't make sense to me.
I think the directions were unclear in the beginning,
Okay.
to be honest.
I'm done.
I
But there's no
I
reason why
disagree
they
with that
couldn't.
statement. We had in January,
We did.
for our staff meeting, we told everybody, we are gonna be hosting 2 Munis budget sessions, come to one. And we showed people exactly how to enter it. There's also a way, if you don't wanna enter each individual item, you can cut and paste it into an Excel spreadsheet exactly like this. This is what we did for Public Works. Public Works initially did their own spreadsheet system. We were able to just copy and paste everything into a Munis spreadsheet and import it, and now it's in there. So,
going forward, like next year,
Jim-
they don't have to put in all the account numbers
Correct.
and all that
Right,
stuff, because
right.
it's all
it
there.
will be established, and we've even talked with Jim, like, over the course of the year, we will get all the detail in the police budget for next year.
And we'll be able to track all the justifications and changes and.
Well, so for us, the justifications will be there when we start the budget process. When you receive it next year, it will be fresh. But the budget will live on in Munis. We can still revisit this budget. Okay.
So if you remember what you saw before for Fran's budget, you had the first spreadsheet, which had the years and such. So here's Jimmy's employee, his full-time number, 2.7. You remember on Fran's before, he had that salary broken up, director, assistant director, this amount. Jimmy's got one number, that's what Roy's talking about. It's not broken up to the same
You have
detail
the
level.
object level, but not the detail level with Jim. And he provided it just in his own spreadsheet format, so that's what we'll provide you.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Excuse me, are you running this meeting?
Motion, you can do that.
Well, I was getting to it, could you just wait a minute?
No, I use the bathroom.
Well, then get up and go.
Had too many sodas.
All right, I'll second Rose's motion then.
Okay, all right.
Who's in charge of all the town clocks?
Obviously, they haven't gotten to this one yet. With the time change.
Oh, you can't get the little things right.
All right, all in favor? Aye. So we'll see everyone next Tuesday at our council meeting, except Jeff will
Yeah,
not be
sorry about
here.
that,
And
guys.
if
I gotta
anyone
be outta
else is
here.
not here,
So
just
if
let me
I
know.
wanted to learn,
Sorry.
I can just.
I gotta go right now.